Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I saw something quite interesting and funny actually. So I thought I have to share with you. It's got to do with ward spies. This is fun. It's actually quite funny. Um, how do I start? So if you can think about it this way, our wards are pediatric wards, so a lot of children. They need supervision, unfortunately. So they need a lot of help with family. And because we don't have a lot of nurses, we encourage and we really need like a guardian to be supervising the child overnight. Most of the time, it's the mother or the grandmother or the aunt. Very few dads, very few uncles that show up. That's a whole other topic. But anyway, so because we have all these adults in our ward, there's room for a lot of drama. And as you know, humans are full of nonsense sometimes, and not everyone is like the perfect role model parent. And I don't think any perfect parent. I don't think the perfect parent exists. But there are some troublemakers that we have, or ones that we have to watch out for various reasons. Sometimes the child might be admitted because we suspect abuse or neglect or something, and then we have to decide: is this something we can rectify and work with the mom with, or is it something deeper? So we've always had this situation where we enlist help from other moms that are quite reliable in the ward. It's usually a mother or a grandma or a granny or oma, auntie, whatever that's in the ward, but they know the situation. They know when tea time, they know when the tea time is. They know when to sleep in between the day. They know what time to wake up. They know when to bath their kids. They know the ward, and also they know how we work. Because they've been here for a while. And every so often we will admit a patient that we're not 100% sure of. It's usually, sometimes it could be like a shame. We get very teenage mothers, 15, 14, 16. There's a 16-year-old, I think, up now. This is very difficult, and shame, they need a lot of help. And then you get the moms that are on drugs, the moms that just don't want to be there. It's a very unfortunate situation, but that's the reality. And there are many, a lot more than you'd think. So it's difficult for us to gauge and see how competent someone is or how reliable someone is in a 5-minute interview or 10-15 minute chat about the child. Now suddenly we need to know about the parent. It's very difficult. So usually there's always this situation where if I come in the morning, I get like a report. Not that I've asked for it, but I get a report from another mother saying, look here, this lady, she hasn't woken up. She slept throughout the night and didn't feed her child. This one, then they say, this one hit her child throughout the night. This one shouting, and this one went to go smoke. This one disappeared for 5 hours and we had to look after the child. This one's not changing the nappy. This one doesn't clean their child. A lot of complaints. The flip side is also true. So they might also come to us and they'll say, doc, this mom, she's very young, but she's trying. She's doing her best. We helped her. We showed her how to actually change a nappy, or how to burp the child, or how not to speak to someone, and they've actually listened and they're trying. So this is a good thing. So it's not always a bad thing, but we like to talk about the funny, awkward stuff. So today we have a bit of a problem child mom inside the ward. She's very difficult and she's trying to abscond with the child. But the child is unwell and needs hospital admission. So we calmed her down. Unfortunately, she's on board now, but she disappears and we don't think that she's feeding the child well, because the child gains weight during the day when the sisters are there and loses weight overnight. And it's likely because the child's not being fed overnight, and the child doesn't get a feed, like he doesn't eat his feeds. He actually needs it via a tube. So you need to actually sit with the drip and feed him. And the sisters can't do that, unfortunately. There's just far too many people. We've got about 40, on average 40 children a night in our wards, and they're all sick, with incoming and outgoing throughout the night. So yeah, it's quite difficult. And my consultant on the round, she's like, I need a ward spy. And I'm like, what's a ward spy? She said, no, come. And then she takes this lady into the room on the side, and she says, Mom, let's talk about your baby, but let's talk about it in private. So everybody's like, ooh, talk about it in private. Meanwhile, we're not talking about her child. We're talking to her about being enlisting as a ward spy. And then we say, look here, we don't know this, Mom. Give us your impression the next day. You're good. And she says, you are going to be my spy. And I thought, what? That's such a cool word for it, because I always, we always did that whether we wanted or not, that we get the input. But it's never been like a formal situation where we call them a ward spy. And I think it's cool. I think that's really cool. So yeah, she comes to me this morning and she says, Doc, I'll tell you what's going on. So I was like, let's go. What's the report? You've chosen you've accepted your mission. What is your report? Very cool. But yeah, she gave a good report on this mom, quite thorough actually, and we've it helps with social work input, because social workers are also under a lot of strain. So all the information that we can give is quite helpful on our impression, on other moms' impression, and then they go and do home visits and stuff. So this is everything is very important. So yeah, I thought I'd talk about it. So you never know. Hopefully, you do not have to be in a situation when you are in a pediatric ward. But if you are, just watch out because there are always ward spies, and I've got eyes and ears everywhere. Sharp.